It's in person. Charles, go ahead. Kick us off.
Charles.
Hi, guys. For either of you, just general thoughts on tonight's match.
I thought it was a good match. I think we prepared well and we executed well. We had a really good first half, picked up the ball in their half quite a bit. We just need to punish as much as we can. But on the flip side, if we keep ourselves in the game with a shutout, that's exactly what we need to keep doing.
I mean, yeah, I can add. I think it basically what Lou said, but it's also they're a good team, and like limiting them to the chances that they had, I think shows a credit to how much we've worked on, especially the last few weeks. Because I think we've been frustrated with ourselves with certain things of it. So I think, obviously, like she said, we need to punish them in our chances, but to go out there and get a clean sheet against them is a credit to all the work we've put in.
And Lou, back to you. This is your first match getting, I think, significant minutes since the last time you guys played San Diego. Just what has it been like to get back to this point? As you know, I feel like you've been dealing with a few things here and there.
Yeah.
Health-wise.
I had a rough go this year. I think it just as you get older, right? That's what happens. Yeah, it's been a frustrating year for me, trying to stay healthy. But that's all part of it, right? It's sport. The beauty is, getting back, being there for your team however you can, and then when you get called on to make sure you're ready. And I think for me, having that experience is something I really need to lead into, and for this team as well. So yeah, I'm just honestly grateful to be out there and be able to contribute to the team, and do whatever I can, whether it's playing on the field or not. So yeah, touch wood, I'm happy I'm healthy.
We missed her.
For either one of you, obviously San Diego had a majority of possession by quite a large margin, but still, kept them scoreless. Just what were the keys to keeping them off the score sheet despite how much possession they were able to control?
One thing about stats is so weird. I think their possession is probably maybe in the middle and their back. So they weren't really close to our goal, which is actually okay and something that we were okay with them having the ball. We knew they were going to have a lot of the ball. So just being patient and defending like we did. And, we thought about doing the counter, which first half we had quite a bit of counter and we could have scored a couple goals. So yeah, I think we executed what we wanted to, regardless, I think, of what the stats say.
And then obviously there were those couple of games where the team conceded more than anyone really wanted to. Now kind of 2 games where it feels like the team is back to more of the strong defense that I think was a key to the first half of the season. Just how does it feel to sort of get back to that sort of strong defense now?
I think, it's hard in this league. Like, teams score on one little mistake that you make, and I think we were exposed in both the Portland game and then the game after that. It was like they were little mistakes on set pieces, and we kicked ourselves so much for those things that, like, the next week we go in and we work on it so much. So I think every team is so different. Every team in this league is good at finishing when they need to finish, and I think us limiting those opportunities, and like tonight, like they didn't have a bunch of opportunities, and I think Portland, they didn't even have that many, but making those mistakes, I think learning and growing from those is what's been good for us and important for us, and like we need to keep obviously focusing on that going forward.
So Lou, it felt like in Jordan Bugg's last 2 appearances, she had a rough time out there. Felt like she played with a lot more confidence today. You, as one of the leaders on the squad, what did you see from her today? And what do you tell a young player like that when they're having a bit of a rough go?
Yeah, I think I just saw Jordan Bug again, and I think seasons are hard. She's still very young. I would consider her, obviously not a rookie, but still there. And we've put a lot of pressure on her from the jump. She was a starter as a rookie, and that's a lot to handle. So I think what you see is quite normal for a player like that. And what's more important is how she bounced back, and that's, a true professional and a true footballer, to be fair. So she stuck it out. It's hard being dropped, especially when you're younger and you don't really understand that part of the game yet. So I'm so proud of her. I don't even think she, blinked an eye. She was there for the team. She was training hard, came back in, and if she didn't have confidence, we definitely have confidence in her, and I think that's all that really matters, and I think she feels that support from us. And then you just, you have to go out there and build your own trust back, and I think that's what she did tonight. So I'm really happy for her.
So Claudia, I'm always fascinated for a goalkeeper when you don't have to make a lot of saves for a while, and then you're kind of standing back there. How do you kind of keep yourself ready, and how did you handle that tonight?
It's always hard. I think especially in games where it's like we know that they're going to have a lot of possession, but I think staying engaged with the back line, talking to the back line, like having them communicate with me is obviously one thing for me that helps a lot. And I think knowing that they're going to try and build up in a really tricky, like, dynamic way versus trying to play it long. So I think being patient and waiting for their opportunities and not trying to go out and, like, do anything crazy, like, not make any mistakes, basically. Like, the defense is so good in front of me, like, trust them, and then when the ball gets to me, that's what I need to do. But I think we've grown so much recently, just this year or two. I think we know what our strengths and weaknesses are, and I think it's been a lot easier for me to just, like, sit there and let them do their thing.
Just want to clarify, she's just not standing back there. This girl's active and keeping us in check the entire time. It just goes unseen most of the time.
So with attendance growing and like the atmosphere kind of coming into its own, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but every time you make a save, people do these little claw. Yeah. Which is great. Now the whole stadium's doing it. But can you talk a little bit about like the atmosphere and playing at home and kind of what you've seen with the growth this year?
Do you know what our attendance was tonight?
9974.
Oh, nice. That's one of our, I think, bigger ones, right? Yeah, we actually noted that during the national anthem. We're like, nice turnout tonight. Yeah, I mean, for me, being here so long, I still want to continue to see it grow more. I was hoping that it would be more than what it is right now, and this is not to be negative at all, but Seattle's such a good sports city, and I see it for every other sport, so I want to continue to grow it for the Reign. But in saying that, you know, tonight and having them there, it honestly is a game changer, and I want the fans to know that, and we appreciate that so much because it helps. Like, I hate going to stadiums where, you know, the crowd's on you all the time, and like, even if you're doing well, they're still barking at you, so, you know, it's kind of like a battle for 90 minutes with both being on field and the mental side of it from the fans. So the more we can get out and the more they are loud and vibrant and all of that, it definitely helps. So it was really good to see that tonight and to see it continue to grow here.
I think it also makes it more exciting. Like, I feel like you go to games and the fans are involved, which I think it sounds louder when there's more people. So I think sometimes it's harder here, and especially because they're so far away. But I think, like, when you go to certain places, like, obviously we hate going to Portland, but they hate us, and they make it so obvious during that whole game that it's so fun. It is fun to play there because it's like the experience, the environment. And I think our fans, like, progressively since I've been here, have gotten better and more involved. I think it's fun to go out there every day and play in front of them.
All right, last one from Bella.
Just back to the defense, I think Phoebe McLaren has been so good and perhaps underrated at times, just because you're not always doing flashy things on the back line, right? But could both of you just speak to how important she's been to the defense this season, and particularly today?
Yeah, the growth I've seen in Phoebe over the last couple years, I don't know how many times I've texted her after a game. I'm so proud. She's worked extremely hard, I think, on herself, her mental game off the field, to be better on the field for us. And like you said, she does literally all the dirty work. She's the craziest girl I know. And that's what she loves, and she leans into that. And I think each year she continues to build off of that and bring in something else that makes her game even stronger. So I think what you're seeing, you know, this year isn't even her ceiling yet, and that she's going to keep growing and be, I think, one of the best defenders in the league. Like you said, whether it's appreciated or not, it definitely is appreciated here on the team, and we rely on her. And yeah, I'm just incredibly proud of her and where she's, you know, grown into.
Yeah, I think to add to that, it's like Phoebe's probably the first person to always blame herself for everything. And I think she goes out there after every game, watches film, we'll watch film, and she's the first person to say, like, I need to do better here, like, on everything. She'll always blame herself, and we're like, no, Phoebe, you actually did the right things. But, like, I think she expects so much of herself that it's just, like, she's basically doing everything at the best level that she can all the time. And I think her doing that for us this year has been amazing. And I think without her, I think we would struggle a lot. And I don't think she realizes that. But, yeah, it's like her growth since I've been here, being able to play with her, like, talking with her, it's comfortable and it's fun and it's easy. And I think we love having her, and we're lucky to have her.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Yeah,
Claudia. Thanks.
thank you.